Alright, y'all, it's Omno Superman again, back with a review for One Piece Chapter 1009. And as always, I love this chapter. This chapter was a baller for so many reasons. Oh, man. Also, started off with a fantastic color spread, which is always just a big plus. And then we just go right into the flames. Kind of saw that coming. I didn't think Orochi would run into the scabbards right away. Like, that was just a sweet shock. And then Orochi transforms. He's like, I'm going to take care of you. And then they just instantly chop off all his heads. God. It's a little odd to have, like, Orochi come back and then just instantly die. But this is hilarious. And I'm cool with it. And there are really two options. Because there are 7 scabbards here, just cut off 7 heads. Either when Kaido cut off a head, Orochi regrew the head, and he's fine, and he has 8 heads. Or that head died, and he only had 7 heads left. So now that all 7 heads got cut off, he's legitimately dead. But if he regrew that first head, because that's something of the mythical zone ability, I guess, then he would have 1 head left when the 7 scabbards cut it off. So if he comes back again, I don't know, it'd be cool if, like, still be cool if Hiyori killed him. But I'm okay with this defeat. And I want to say it is a legitimate defeat because Raizo and Fukurokujo are talking, and Raizo says, will you avenge him? So that makes me think he's legitimately dead, because I don't want to say you avenge someone if they're, still alive. But their little interaction was cool. It's like, we were fated to fight, weren't we, Raizo? That's just awesome. And it should be a sweet ninja fight. We've seen some stuff that Raizo can do, and Raizo's injured, and we haven't seen anything Fukurokujo can do. We just know he has a really big head, which is still funny. Then we go back to the rooftop, which was a shock. I didn't think this would happen this chapter. Whew. And Big Mom and Kaido want to do a tag team attack. But also, Law finally admits they just can't move them. Their hockey's too good. I was curious about that. But then they do the tag team attack that Luffy warns them all about. The Conquest of the Sea. It sounded so much cooler in the fan translation. I don't remember what it is offhand, but I'll put it. But it was so much cooler than Conquest of the Sea. Still cool. It's not the same. But man, Zoro. Fucking Zoro. Holy shit. I didn't see this coming. And Kaido and Big Mom were both shook. And Zoro was just like, I got you. We can't all die. I'll block it. Oh, that's badass. Based on like Law doing his little hand thing, he must have roomed Zoro out so he didn't get blown away by the blast. But Zoro defended the attack from 2 Yonkos at once. He's damaged. Like he's coughing up blood, for sure. So, later on in the fight, we kind of have to get Ashura. It's Ashura. We have to. Like, this is the fight. It's going to come out. It's going to be huge. And I am looking forward to it because it's going to be badass. And when it finally gets animated, holy shit. Just looking forward to it. It's going to be sweet. But you see that everyone survives, and then Luffy just runs on in, but then he laughs because Kaido dodges it, so he talks shit to him. And then Kaido just kind of like dominates him, which is how Luffy's fights go with a big bad guy. He gets dominated, and then he eventually wins, usually at least. But this time he got crushed by that he got crushed by the Conqueror of 3 Worlds, Ragnarok, which was just an awesome attack. First, like, named attack Kaido did in his hybrid form. And you see more of his hybrid form, too. Like, it's more and more badass, in my opinion. It is still, like, what we expected. But it looks cooler and cooler. And again, when that gets animated, it's not going to happen for, like, a year. But it'll be sweet when it does happen. And for this next part, I was a little confused. But they figured out a plan to beat Big Mom. A box shows up, which must be kids doing, and then Law steals Zeus away from Big Mom, and then Killer takes out the sword. I think it's Napoleon, and Zoro takes out the flame cloud, Prometheus. since Zeus is a cloud, why can't he get out of a box? Like, it's a box of metal. I just want to assume it's like hockey enforced or some shit like that, but it's still a box, and he's a cloud. It's a cloud. It is like a living cloud, so it's a little odd, and we'll probably never get an explanation on that. It'll just be what it is. Because what happens is after Big Mom loses her foothold, because Zoro cuts Prometheus, which looks cool. But after Big Mom loses her foothold for that, she gets attacked by Kid, and then Kid attacks her, and she punches Kid directly in the face, which looks rough. Then Kid uses the second half of his ability that we usually don't see, the repel, and just blows her into the air. And then Law he throws a rock at her again, but this rock doesn't do anything as she says, but it knocks her off of Onigashima. And since they're super high up in the air, she now has to just fall down because she doesn't have Prometheus or Zeus. And I didn't think that's how they'd get rid of Big Mom, but it's actually hilarious that that's how it happened. It makes sense that she's going to fall down in the water, probably right in front of her children, the Big Mom pirates. Like, she's just going to land in a section where they can see her, and then they save her and she's fine. And a couple chapters ago, like Onigashima, they showed a mountain behind it, so it was presumed that it was already over Wano. It doesn't show Big Mom looking down at this point, but she says there's nothing but sea below me. So based off what she's saying, it makes sense they're not on Wano yet. And that scene we saw a little while back of the mountain behind it was just early. The other option is like her words are wrong, but we just have to wait and see. But man, I loved this. Like Zoro, it shows him hurt at the end, which just makes sense because he defended the double Yonko attack and then had to instantly go attack Prometheus with not much rest. God, Zoro is just a badass. God, I loved it. This chapter was just fire. And I am looking forward to next week. There's no break, which is always just the best news. Man, I just loved it. Well, that is it this time. If you watched this, I appreciate it. Hopefully y'all have a good one.